know something very interesting, very relevant to our lives. There are times in our life when we are physically, emotionally, financially, or in some way or the other we are challenged, and we're severely challenged, and we really do not know what to do, and we reach a deadlock. So that's the time we try every possible remedial measure, but nothing seems to work at times. And that's the time when we start looking for alternative healing methods, because we all are going through this, and it's in a day-to-day life that we experience this kind of a deadlock a lot of times. So that's the time we start looking for an alternative healing method. Our guest this evening is a renowned reconnective healer, Jalpa H Vithalani. She's a successful businesswoman, an ace artist, and a passionate reconnective healing practitioner. We shall talk to her today and get to know more about this practice and how we all can benefit from this practice. Let me So Jalpa H Vithalani would be joining us shortly, and we shall have a tete-a-tete with her. Hi Jalpa, good evening.
Hi Nirupama, how are you?
Thank you.
Good, good. Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good, Jalpa. We are so delighted to have you here today. And
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is all ours, and I'm so delighted. I'm so excited to know more about this whole healing method that which you're going to share with us today.
It's something
Jalpa,
which is, actually something which I'm excited to talk about as well. So thank you.
you're welcome.
Nirupama, I'm just going to take a second and check my internet connection. Yeah, it's a little slow. Just give me a moment.
Please do. Yeah. Are you good to go?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, Jalpa, you have been a leading floriculturist. You have been a successful businesswoman, an entrepreneur, doing so well in your field, and then to reconnective healing practice. Tell us in short about your journey from floriculturist to a reconnective healer. How, what, when?
Well, Nirupama, I started my journey as a farmer. So I'm a Kisan actually at heart. I started back in 98, and we were one of the first ones to bring greenhouse technology to India at that time. So I started a flower farm, and what was fulfilling is that we are working with a lot of young girls from the neighboring villages because they're very good at the delicate handling of flowers. And I was also representing one of the leading breeders in Europe. It's it's a Dutch company called Schroers. And a breeder is one who genetically engineers new varieties of roses. For instance, there can only be one Nirupama or one Jalpa. So they used to create new products and patent them. We would test those in our research facility, and then I would market them to other rose farms in India. I've also been the vice president of Western India Floriculture Association till date, and I was appointed on the board of APIDA, which is the apex export promotion body of the government by Sri Kamal Nathji. And I was very, very young at that time. And I remember we used to go to Delhi every month for the MOD meetings, and in a group of 100 men, we used to just be two women, you know. I was, I remember, almost around 30 years old at that time. And then, I've been an artist, but I studied financial services and management, and I joined my dad's aviation group. And I'm, heading one of the companies, which is a logistics arm. It's called JTB Jupiter Express. So we are actually a market leader in courier consolidation and international freight forwarding. So it's a joint venture with Jupiter Global, which is a subsidiary of Japan Airlines. It's a Hong Kong-based subsidiary. And my art gallery has been a delightful journey, curating exhibitions with a plethora of artists from around the world. And we've done a lot of work with art, culture, and music. And of course, the reconnective healing, that journey has been a magical one. That's what we're going to talk about today. But, you know, in a synopsis, I would say right from being a farmer to a reconnected healing practitioner, or whether it's the logistics, aviation, art, or curation, each of this has
Okay.
essentially been a part of who I am. And it's also contributed to my own evolution. So it's kind of interrelated and dynamic. And eventually, you know, it's about bringing in your own uniqueness, your soul signature into whatever you're doing. And I think I'm a people's person. So whether you'll put me at the farm with the villagers or in the city, I essentially always like to engage people, you know, and, you know, yeah, work together with, you know, in a, you know what I mean, involve a lot of other people as we move along. That comes naturally.
Okay, that's really wonderful, and it's so inspiring to know about your journey, Jalpa. And you are such a humble person. I'm really, really happy to have you here. I'm so happy to be connected with a person like you who has so much behind her and so much to learn from.
And I
So,
must congratulate you on the lovely work you're doing, the creative work you're doing at the Saffron Saga.
thank you so much, Jalpa. Thank you so much. So, I'm very intrigued, and I really want to know, and I'm sure all the others also would like to know, what was it that drew you to this practice? And after you came into this practice, what was the change that you felt in your life? How did it change your life?
Yeah, well, you know, reconnective healing has essentially, honestly, it's been my truth in the sense it's really touched my life in many ways, and that's the reason I'm very passionate about, you know, sharing this gift with so many other people and practicing this work. Well, you know, my sister Coral, she's played an essential role in my own life in many, many different ways. So she spoke to me about reconnective healing, and Dr. Pearl was coming to India at that time, and this was in 2010, and we went to listen to a talk. And I was so you know, I was so amazed listening to him, and it was a sense of knowing. For me, it's always been a sense of knowing. And I said, whatever it is that Dr. Pearl does, I must do it. And Thora encouraged me. She said, why don't you read his book? You know, he's the author of a best-selling book, The Reconnection, Heal Others and Heal Yourself, which is in 36 languages, which talks about his journey. He's the founder of the work. But I didn't even read the book. I just reached the seminar 6 months later, and I became a practitioner. And I was, I think, the only one in the audience who myself still just read maybe a few paragraphs of the book, but it was a sense of knowing. And I was at that time also, you know, undergoing a spring cleaning in my own life, you know, and it was like a 180 degrees shift. So I experienced a transformation, Nirupama, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, at every level. And reconnective healing is essentially about that. It's a gateway to accelerated life progress. And, you know, the biggest gift that I've got is my gallery, my art gallery, birthed in a dream after I had my reconnective healing and the reconnection done. So I was shown this beautiful space. I was shown that I have to do this work. I was given the name of the gallery in the dream, the logo, and a few days later, my father offered me the same space which I saw in the dream to open a gallery. So this has been the biggest gift, actually. Of course, you know, I think the universe is talking to all of us. It's about picking up the signs. I'm probably good at that part, I would say. And we've done 130 events related to art, culture, and music. So, you know, it's been a flowering of sorts. And I'm very passionate about these frequencies. And now I do sessions for people in the gallery itself. And we can also do distance healing. So we do distance healings for people around the world. My sister and me are both practitioners. And, you know, it's a three-way process, Nirupama. So basically, the practitioners also in receiving mode as we do the healings. So the more healings I do, I find that life is opening up more and more.
Okay. So, as you help others, the same vibe comes back to you, probably manifold, and probably opens up your life further. That's what you want to say. It helps
Yes.
you.
So as we're practicing the healing, it's like a field effect. Okay. And the entire, you know, we are also in the field as a practitioner, and we're not healers. Only you can heal yourself, but we are practitioners. It's like we're holding a door for the, you know, the person to walk through and actually reconnect completely to themselves and come into the full potential of their own being.
Basically facilitating, and the other person has to walk the talk.
Yes.
Basically, that's what it
Yes.
is.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, Jalpa, I am interested in knowing, is this reconnective healing that you're talking about, is it some kind of a therapy, a medication, a hypnosis? What exactly it is, and what can one expect out of it?
No, with reconnective healing, we're not diagnosing, we're not treating anything. It's not symptom based. In fact, I remember one girl came to me and she's like, "You're not even going to listen to my story." I said, "I don't need to know anything about you." And it's also a hands free session. So she said, "You're not even going to touch me." She said, "What kind of a healing is that?" But, it's actually a healing designed by the intelligence of the universe. And it's unique to each person, the way it's going to unfold. So we have no idea as a practitioner what's going to happen, but it will definitely unfold in different ways for each person. And Dr. Eric Pearl, he often says that if you're lucky, the healing is going to come in the form that you've never even imagined. And like I said, that it's basically a healing designed by the intelligence of the universe. And when your person comes in, we like you said, what do you expect? You're basically ideally lying on a healing bed. You can, of course, a person can even sit and do the healing. We just invite them to close their eyes so that they're relaxed and open their field. I just always tell them to thank the universe, because like I said, this is a healing designed by the intelligence of the universe. And I also thank the universe for allowing me to be part of the healing, and it's transmitting from the practitioner's hands and from our eyes. And what is interesting is that there are 12 international studies in science which prove that your cells start emitting higher levels of biophotonic light when you're in this field. And also the temperature in the room reaches up to 300 degrees centigrade in thermodynamic terms. Okay, so you're experiencing a cellular level shift as you come in for the healing. But it is not about manipulating energy. It is not about, even if I know that the person has come for a specific problem, I mean, it's not like I am trying, I cannot even direct the energy, and I'm not even trying to. It is going to unfold for them. For instance, for a blind man, very often, if even if the vision doesn't come back, but he gets an emotional healing and he comes out of his depression, that is also healing. So healing is way beyond what you and me, really define as healing. And this could also be a shift in consciousness. It could be a mental healing, our response patterns to life changes, which is also, can change life completely.
Okay. Like you said, Jalpa, the people who come to you, they don't need to even tell you what they are going through, what is their suffering, what is their challenge. How is it?
You don't even need to have a problem about to do this healing. For instance, it's like a human upgrade. It takes you to the next step of your own evolution. Like, why do you buy the latest computer or the latest iPhone, or why do you do a software upgrade? So very often when a person is at a crossroad, in life, or they're asking that what's next for me, I'm ready for something more, that is when they will come into somehow here. I think about reconnective healing, this is working on you even on your DNA actually.
Okay. Like I was talking to you the other day and I told you that, Jalpa, I don't know whether it's psychological or what, but I can feel it, I can feel the connect. I can feel there's a lot of positivity and my life moving into a positive direction. I really don't know what it was. And then that's the time you told me that it happens. And, that's
Yes,
how
because,
it's.
this Nirupama is the field effect. Okay, the minute, in fact, Dr. William Tiller, also who's a Stanford professor, says that, again, when these frequencies enter your cellular level system, you're experiencing greater coherence and order. And, even when they've checked the fields, when the seminars are held, the field starts developing a few days before the seminar. So that's what's probably happened with the intent of this talk and sharing. You're reaching the frequencies to a lot of people, and the field is already set. And that's why you're already experiencing the shifts.
Oh, that's really wonderful. So, Jalpa, people watching us today would really like to know that who are the people who can actually benefit from reconnective healing, and what is actually the process that is involved in this?
Actually, I've done sessions for pregnant women, for infants, for babies, for young kids, for adults, for elders. I do use a lot of the reconnective healing frequencies on plants, even on animals. So actually, you can use this on anybody can benefit from this, and there's so many instances of that. And the process involved is simply, kind of showing up. And in distance healings, you're not even present. But even if you come for a session, Nirupama, and say that, oh, I don't even believe in this, but the fact that you're there and then the healing is happening is going to unfold for you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the process? Could you just elaborate how, if a person comes to you, how does it happen? How does the process start and end?
It's usually, a session takes about 30 minutes, like they're lying down and, we are moving, we are playing with the frequencies actually, and it transmits from the center of our hands and from the eyes. So right now, even the viewers are being activated as we do this, little tete-a-tete. And basically, they get entrained with the reconnective healing frequencies in that field effect. And all they need to be do is be there. And in a distance healing, we're just making the intent to send energy. And I've had some amazing real-time sessions with people who I've never met in my life, and they can experience somehow my presence or the frequencies or whatever it is during the sessions. And the healing is not limited to the 30 minutes of the healing. It actually keeps unfolding after that. So people might experience instant shifts, or it will keep unfolding as it is. So it's not even a crutch that you have to keep doing it.
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's very new age. So, it's a very new bandwidth of frequencies which is available to the planet for the first time. And we're accessing this bandwidth of frequencies, which consists of energy, light, and information. And, it might even open up the consciousness to completely a new level of the individual experiencing it. And many people who've experienced the sessions come back and tell us that lots of pathways have opened up for them.
Oh, that's really nice. That's lovely to know. So, Jalpa, I've read and I've known about a lot of people who you have worked on in this practice of yours, the reconnective healing, and you benefited a lot. Do you have any specific case which you remember, which you'd like to share with us, where a person you saw the change in that person's life and that person came back to you? So just share with a particular incident.
Yeah, Nirva, honestly, there's so many gifts. It's amazing, when people come back, but this is not result oriented. So I don't specifically, we don't even have the time to go, we don't go back and ask, but people will come back and share, oh, this happened and that happened. And we're also in child like, oh, and in the space of allowing the biggest gifts unfold. So I'm going to share, what's coming to me right now is about this, this very simple, lovely lady. Her name is Madhvi Khalde. She's from Talegaon. She came from the farm because, a lot of the people from the neighboring villages started coming in for sessions when I was going for floriculture work. So anyway, she came in for a session and I had a room there. So I made her lie down on the bed and we did a healing. And she just went into a very, very deep sleep. So I did my other work, came back after a couple of hours, and I went into the room and I gently woke her up. And I said, Madhvi, how do you feel? And she's saying, Didi, I slept for 3 hours. And she was telling me in Hindi, that she slept for 3 hours. So in my head, I was like, okay, she slept. And then she realized, though I didn't express that verbally, and she said, no, you don't understand. I've lost my husband 6 months ago. I've not slept since then. So you see, sleep was the biggest gift. And then, she cried and cried and cried a lot. She cried for an hour almost. And since then, she was never depressed. Her whole grief, her depression got lifted in that instant. After about a week, 10 days, I went to the farm. She came for her second session. She said, please tell me when you come in next. Okay. So I said that, Madhvi, how do you feel? So she's saying, Didi, मैं बॉम्बे गई थी 2 दिन मैं चल के मैंने shopping किया. So again, I thought, अरे अच्छा चल के shopping किया means okay, good. Then again she realized, though I'm not expressing this, she's saying, नहीं दीदी पहली टाइम मैं आई तभी आपने देखा नहीं मैं ठीक से चलती नहीं थी मुझे hip का problem है. Now I saw her limping, so I thought she's got an injury. She's saying, I've been to Hinduja hospital.
I've got a comment here, Jalpa, while we are discussing this. There's somebody, BG, who's writing 2605. I can vouch for Jalpa's divine work. She cured me completely. Such a blessing.
Oh. I cure anybody the universe does, but yeah, we are all instruments. So this lady says that I've been to Hinduja, I'm on steroids, and I couldn't walk, she says, for more than half an hour. So she's saying, I can just effortlessly walk. So I was so happy. I went to Bombay and that's where she went. I went to Bombay, I walked a lot and I shopped. So you see, whatever that issue was that she had with her hip and joints disappeared. But I was not even aware. Third session she came and I told her, Nirupama, I just said that, Madhvi, you're glowing. So she's saying, मुझे leukodama था, अभी पूरा patches पूरे खुलने लगे हैं. Her skin has opened up. This was like, it was amazing. I mean, she's in touch with me even now, and like her life in 3 weeks, everything started opening up, and until now it's a continuous process. And this is, I'm talking about 6 years ago.
My
And we've
God,
just done 3 sessions. So
that's
I think
amazing.
there are so many gifts, it's unbelievable actually.
I mean, it sounds quite miraculous, Jalpa, and it sounds
It,
really,
yeah,
really.
but and she's come with, in the innocence of allowing, and that's when the biggest gifts unfold actually. She had no specific agenda. She had heard from somebody else who had a brain tumor. They were her relatives, and she said that, please, she said, please look at my sister-in-law. She's going through a bad patch, and then they just brought her. That's how it was.
Okay, that's really wonderful. Jalpa, I'm sure a lot of people who've been watching this may be getting, confused, or maybe getting perplexed, or confusing this reconnective healing with other many other practices that are there. When you said something to do with your palm and the energy and the radiation, people, I'm
It
sure.
transmits. Yes, it transmits. So, here there are no do's and don'ts. Okay.
Yes.
It's not like I'm invoking somebody or God, because God is whatever universe spirit is already always present. We're not mapping any symbols. I can wear my shoes and do the healing. There are no do's and don'ts. There's nothing fear based. We're simply interacting with the reconnective healing spectrum of frequencies. The person on the table or sitting is getting entrained with these frequencies. They're experiencing cellular level shifts and life starts unfolding for them. So basically, this is going to enable them to reconnect to the fullness of themselves, to the fullness of others, to the planet Earth, the universe, and much, much more. It's beyond anything that you could have experienced or imagined or heard of, because it transcends all techniques. There's no technique. It's so simple, and that's what's beautiful. I've never
So,
practiced any other form of healing. But like I said, I experience a 0 point when I'm doing this work, and I'm continuously witnessing and experiencing and, these gifts.
okay, so you mean to say it's absolutely and purely scientific, and it
Yes.
helps you unleash your own hidden potential. That's
Potential. Exactly. It reconnects you to the
very
fullness
good.
of yourself.
Okay. So, Jalpa, is there any specific age at which these sessions can be taken, and are there any particular do's and don'ts? Just right now, you did answer my question
Yeah.
partially, but yes, I would like to talk about the do's and don'ts on a mental level as well. I mean, when a person looks at getting into reconnective healing, what exactly? Who are the people? Is there any particular age? Is there anything that a thought process which should not come, or something which should not happen when you are progressing, or when you're trying to go for connective healing? What are the do's and don'ts that happen when people come?
Well,
People,
there are absolutely no do's and don'ts. This is not fear based at all. The fact that you simply show up, that's enough. Like I said, it doesn't even depend on your belief. And even if it's a distance healing, and say you tell me my friend's in an accident, I don't even need to know the name of the person. The universe knows where the healing has to reach. We don't even have to get our minds involved. And that is the beauty. So even when somebody comes, I realize that they're already ready for that shift. So I don't really, engage and get into their story, if you know what I mean. We just do the
yeah,
healing because they're already ready for the shift. That's the reason they've shown up. Even if they're not consciously, even if they're consciously at war, at some deeper level, they're ready for the shift in their life. So I
absolutely.
would love to encourage that and, go from there. I always tell
Perfect.
them, you can take me for a coffee later and we can talk about your life. But right now, let's just enjoy the gift for what you've come. And
That's
even now
really
we're doing sessions for people around the world, both Oral and me. And sometimes it's amazing, how do they even reach us? Like, I think one of the most magical instances is a Japanese guy and an American person who was staying in some ashram in the north, in the Himalayas. They got in touch with us for healings. And I said, how did you hear? And they said, listen, somehow we got a copy of Life Positive magazine, which had featured both of you and this the Reconnective Healing. And we connected, and what amazing sessions we had. And last year, the American person, he came with 1 kilo of organic good as a gift to my office as a gift, as a gift. It
nice.
was amazing, the real-time sessions we experienced and the shifts that they've had in their life.
That's really wonderful. So, Jalpa, what I also wanted to know is that, can the practice be learned? Of course, you've also learned it, and you've started at a much later stage in life.
Yeah.
So, can this be learned? Can this be taken up as a career? And who are the people who can get into this? Is there any qualification required? Is there any particular background required? Educational qualification? What is it? And who all can take it, can it be taken as a career?
Anyone can learn this healing. So just the fact that you have the urge that you'd like to do it, whether it's for yourself or your loved ones or more people, you can definitely do it. The founder of this work, like I said, is Dr. Eric Pearl, and you can look up on www.thereconnection.com, and there is a beautiful online program for level 1 where you get 10 exclusive hours with Dr. Pearl and Gillian Fleer. So that's a good way to introduce yourself to the frequencies, and you can practice it at any age, at any time. So anybody can learn this, and share this gift with so many, for themselves and then for other people as well.
Okay,
and if anybody has more questions also, Nirupama, they can always write to me at @JV Cosmic Heart, or if it's okay, I'm going to share my email ID. It's Jalpa, JALPA Vithalani, VITHALANI @gmail.com.
That's what we just had a comment from a viewer, Meena G. She said that can we give her the contact details, which of course at the end of the live session, once I share this on my IGTV, I'm going to share the details as well, and
Yes.
your contact details. So you can get
Yeah. So, Dr. Pearl had a very successful chiropractic service, and he, a lot of patients suddenly started experiencing miraculous healings, and they felt that he had even kind of touched them, whereas he hadn't. And, his whole journey, and even, people's experiences have been documented in this amazing book, which I spoke about, The Reconnection, Heal Yourself and Heal Others.
Okay, the reconnection, heal yourself.
Heal others. It's heal others, heal yourself. Yes.
Okay, heal others, heal yourself.
It's available in 36 languages.
Okay, so it's by Dr. Eric Pearl, who's the founder of
yes.
Reconnective Healing.
And even reading the book activates you to the frequencies.
Okay, so I'm going to start that soon. I'm
really
going to start.
You must. Yes.
Yeah. So another thing, Jalpa, as you know, that we are a women's apparels brand, and we cater to women, and I'm sure most of the viewers today are going to be women who are watching us. So how do you think, what do you have to say on this practice, reconnective healing? How does that benefit women in particular? Is there anything specific that you have to say about reconnective healing in particular helpful for women? How can that happen? Is there anything specific?
Well, I think women are often, looking for some sort of a validation outside, right? So what happens is that, this could be actually for anybody, but I'm just saying that it really helps you to reconnect to the fullness of yourself and to your full potential. So what happens essentially is you start having a beautiful relationship with yourself. And when you have a beautiful relationship with yourself, I think that's going to spill into all your relationships. Also, we always extend out, right? That's our, our inner, I would say, inner qualities, inner nature. So it's like operating from a glass which is full and which is brimming out, rather than being a glass which is half empty and then extending ourselves to others. So it's really going to reconnect you back to your own potential, and then also help you to reconnect beautifully to others, to the earth, to the universe, and so much more, so much more.
Okay, so because that was something which I really wanted to ask you. As many women would be thinking that they are faced with different kind of challenges. They have their own limitations. They have other deadlocks, which otherwise they're multitasking. Yeah.
Multitasking, exactly. And a lot of women, they'll connect and they'll say that, can you do a session for my husband? And I said, but why not for you first? Because when our frequency shifts, everything around us has to shift.
That's what,
right?
They will...
And we're bringing these frequencies, once they're entrained in you, everything starts unfolding very magically. So
absolutely. So can you do a session for my husband? Not for me, for my husband. That's exactly what I wanted to pinpoint at. That they will first, they will not bother about themselves. They would first, look at people around them.
Everybody else.
Yes. As you rightly said, it's important to heal yourself first, and then, of course, the frequencies will reach others. Yeah. So, we've talked about the benefits a lot of people who have come to you have had with this practice. But I'm keen to know that have there been any cases where somebody who has come to you for reconnective healing did not find any change in his or her life? Life state, and came back and told you? And if it did happen, why did it happen? Why do you think it could have happened?
Physical healing is a tip of the iceberg, which we can see, right? So that anybody can identify with. But
Mhm.
healing is much more than that. It's healing is much more than what you and me would define as healing. It's a healing at a mental level, emotional, physical, spiritual level. It could be a shift in consciousness. It could be the way you respond to life will shift. So sometimes, Nirupama, is our journey as practitioners is to do the healing. It's not result oriented. So I
Mhm.
don't know sometimes how, if the person sitting across on the table is conscious enough to realize those shifts. So I'll give you an
Okay.
example. I had this, a couple, they're friends of mine. One is a
Mhm.
lawyer, the wife is a lawyer, and he's a software professional. He has his own business. So we did their healings, we did their reconnective healing, and there's also something called the reconnection. Maybe we can touch upon that later. And
Mhm.
we did the sessions, and that was it. It was beautiful. They could feel some energy, the frequencies, because it's a magnetic field. And a few years later, when
Mhm.
she came back and she told me that, Jalpa, now I realize from the time of my reconnective healing and the reconnection how much life has transformed. And what's beautiful is today they're both practitioners of this work. And even when she has a court case and a matter which is stuck, she's using the frequencies on the clients and even on the documents actually. So it's not, our journey to try to evaluate if the person is conscious or not. Healing happens, and even science has documented that there is a
Mhm.
shift actually. There's so
Okay.
many examples. We've even found that they've done this experiment with leaves, and for
Mhm.
instance, and they found that normally if they're trying to check the longevity of leaves, but it lasts from 3 to 12 days after it's plucked. But when reconnective healing was used, and this is all by scientists, I could give you a lot of
Mhm.
information, like, actually about it. Then those
Mhm.
leaves lasted up to 90 days.
Okay.
Some of them even regenerated.
Yeah,
So,
because the videos that you sent, and we had shared it also in a post in which you're standing in your rose farm and you're healing the plants, the rose plants,
yes,
which was very intriguing for me. And I really wanted to know about this part as well. So there are
yeah.
people who are into this business also who are probably agriculturists like you or floriculturists like you can also benefit from reconnective healing, I suppose.
Yes, and
Like,
they also check the electromagnetic field of athletes, and the electromagnetic field post a session was much stronger. That's your aura. So there have been a lot of experiments and a lot of data, which is actually what makes it very that's why it makes it one of the most dynamic areas of energy healthcare in the world, because it's backed by science.
that's exactly. I was coming back to that, Jalpa, that initially I touched upon that part that where people would be confused what exactly it is. Could you
Yeah.
just in brief sum up once again the scientific angle to this healing method, reconnective healing method? What is the scientific angle? Please elucidate a bit on that so that people
Well,
understand.
I will like I touched upon Dr. William Tiller, what he said, that when
Mm,
reconnective healing frequencies are introduced, they've proven that it creates greater coherence and order, harmony and
mm,
balance within our system. Our cells
yes,
are emitting higher levels of biophotonic light. Like I said, the
mm,
electromagnetic fields, when they've been measured, they're much stronger, even with athletes. And then at the Human Energy Systems Laboratory, we had Gary Schwartz, who's a scientist, and he tested that 83% of the people on whom this frequency was used, even if they were blindfolded, they could feel the energy. And they also found that, Dr. Gary Schwartz also found that when the person is actually doing a session, they
mm,
found that the sender's heart wave, okay, which is measured by the electrocardiogram, is imprinted on the receiver's brain wave, okay, which is the EEG. So this is very interesting. And this shows that there is an unconscious energy detection which can be found and recorded electromagnetically. So,
okay.
for me, anyone else who's more interested, I could share some of these details even on an email.
Mm.
There's lots of scientific data actually to prove that there is a shift. And
So
the
in a way,
field,
it is measurable as well. When you talking about EEGs and EEGs, it's in a way it's
absolutely,
measurable as well. Fine,
absolutely.
fine.
Yes.
So it's absolutely scientific and it is to an extent measurable also. Okay,
Yes.
Jalpa. If one wants to come for a reconnective healing session to you, how much does one have to spend? How many sessions are required to start seeing the benefits? And is it an ongoing process or it stops after a few sessions? How does
Well,
this happen?
Well, ideally, we recommend 3 sessions unless it's a physical issue. And it's not a crutch. It's not something that you have to keep doing. You know, at one point in your life, 3 sessions work beautifully. The energy exchange for the session is 4,500. And it usually takes about 30 minutes. So, you know, people could obviously show up physically, or we're doing a lot of distance healing, especially now in the COVID days. So they could just, you know, connect with us. And yes, we could schedule a session. And ideally, at that time, I would just invite them to lie down and relax at that point. But there is something which is beyond the reconnective healing, which is called the reconnection. For that, we can't do it distant, and it's only a once in a lifetime process. Now, you've heard that we all have a blueprint for which we are born on the planet. You know that, right? So it really activates your own life path, what you've come down to do. And it's moving like from the road to the expressway. If you're already on the highway, also it will take you to the expressway. Now, for the reconnection, we're actually mapping sacred geometry on your body, and your body's meridian points, which are the acupressure points, are linked to the axitonial lines of the universe. You see, we're all connected to a much larger grid system. And this may sound larger than life, and it is. But when you do your reconnection, your life path completely accelerates. And it's only done once in your lifetime. But for that, you have to physically come, and it's done with one sleep cycle. It's about 30 minutes on each day. So for the reconnection, you know, that is done usually after you've done about 3 reconnective healing sessions. But today, of course, we are really focusing on the basic field of reconnective healing. So, but I thought I should touch upon this part also.
No, perfect. That's absolutely important here, because so first comes the reconnective healing, and then comes reconnection. For reconnecting,
it's not like there's a specific order, but you know how ideally a person will come and do at least one healing first, and then they would do their reconnection. So when I did my reconnection, that's when my gallery birthed. It was like I was completely accelerated on my life path.
Okay. So what I understand is reconnective healing can happen from a distance. You can do it distantly, but for reconnection, one has to be physically present in front of you.
That's right. Yes.
Reconnection. That's wonderful. So that was really, really insightful, Jalpa, and we really got to know so much. I had never heard about reconnective healing till I met you. And I have seen the positivity which oozes out of you. It shows on your face, it shows in your mannerism, it shows all over you. So that's something so interesting, and I'm sure a lot of the people who've been watching us would understand the benefits. And we already had queries from a few viewers who wanted to get connected with you. So I'm sure that the very reason of being here is because we care, and we care for the women fraternity, we care for our own women around us, and we want them to benefit from this life-changing, wonderful healing practice. And we will share all the details here. Jalpa, would you like to?
I'd like to especially thank you for also being an instrument to carry these frequencies, you know, which is beyond you and me, but you're reaching this to so many of your viewers. So thank you for that. And I'm also going to, tell all the friends from Saffron Saga to, if they can, and they have a few minutes to watch. There's a film called My Journey with Reconnective Healing on my YouTube channel that will give you the experiences of many people who've experienced these sessions, you know, a first-hand experience these sessions also.
I would like you to share all those links with me after the session, so that I can put those links when I'm sharing my this live on IGTV later. So that people can see, and also your details, so that they can get in touch with you once they go. Meena, thank you. We will be sharing all the details in our IGTV, and you can also directly talk to Jalpa H Vithalani on her Insta handle is @JV Cosmic Heart, which is there in all my posts. You can directly connect with her, and she will definitely be able to help you. And we will also share it on our post later. So that's what it is. So it was a great session we had, Jalpa, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to benefit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nirupama. Thank you.
And
I'd love for you to experience a session. So I'm going to gift you a session sometime when you have the time.
I'm going to come. I was coming to that, but I thought, because I told you that it will be only for half an hour. So I'm really running short of time. I hope you can spare a few minutes. This is something regarding me also. I'll come back to you, and I really am keen on getting a session from you. Not just one. In fact, I'll go through the entire three cycles, three sessions, and I'm sure it's going to, because I have started feeling it already, Jalpa, and I was.
Would you have 2-3 minutes? I'm going to, make you
I
experience
have
it.
all the time in the world. I have all the time in the world.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to invite you. Maybe you can just keep your hands also just this way, like mine. Yeah, I'm going to play with the frequencies, and let me know if you feel any sensation, maybe in the center of your palm or any other part of the body. It's softer than even the breeze. It's very, very gentle.
I can feel it here. I can feel it here a little.
And how would you describe it if you had to give it a word?
It's like a wave. It's something which is,
Now that's interesting, because this is like a magnetic wave. So that's just a little something. I'm going to later make you feel it. We'll chat post this session, and you'll realize that your body, even in this 30 seconds demo, is already activated to the frequencies, and they're entrained in your system. So actually,
as though there was a little
can you hold your palms like this right now?
Yeah.
Okay, and move one palm, one hand clockwise. Can you feel anything in the other palm?
Not right now.
And turn it the other way, the other direction.
Yes, I did.
Yes, so because you're already entrained with the frequencies, you know. It's not like I said, this is a field effect. All the viewers right now are also activated. You know, there's a field which is set, and we're all part of the field. You know, it's a communication happening.
Something touched me here.
Yes, yes. It may sound a bit strange to some of the people watching us, but
I have no reason. Jalpa, I'm sure people will understand, because I have got no reason to, unnecessarily advocate.
I just thought of this impromptu, that let's just do a little live demo. But great, lovely talking to you, Nirupama. Lovely.
It was great. It was great having you over, Jalpa, and I'm sure sometime in future again we'll come back to you, because there's much more to talk about in this about this, and we're looking forward to having you over again. Thank you so much, Jalpa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.